So I just finished watching Naruto for the first time in my life, and it was... well, I've got a lot to say about it. A lot. So you know what that means. It's time for another girthy analysis series on the Low Art channel, beginning with this video, wherein I discuss anything about Big Nort that catches my interest and I think's worth discussing. Now, though I'm going to be using the manga as my primary source for a lot of the stuff I'm going to be talking about, I'm also going to watch the anime while I make these videos and show clips from that during the course of these videos. Either way though, let's do it.
But first, it's time for a sponsorship.
Wait, what? Hello?
Have you ever had it where you finish up a really good show and you have no idea what to do next?
Sure.
Well, Low Art, have I got good news for you. Because the Likewise app can make all of your problems disappear.
How's it do that?
That's simple, mortal. It's an easy-to-use app that gives you relevant recommendations based on your interests. It works for movies, TV shows, books, and podcasts. All you need to do is set up a 100% free profile and you're ready to go. Heck, I've already done it for you. Why don't you head over to the Today tab? Here, you can quickly swipe past TV shows and movies, deciding whether you want to watch them later. It's kind of like Tinder.
Oh, I don't like Tinder. No one ever matches with me on there.
That's okay, Low Art, because the shows can't say no. Meanwhile, in the Community tab, you can ask for help finding something to watch. You can even create groups where you discuss your interests with friends in one convenient spot.
Friends?
Yes, Low Art, friends. Then there's the Discover tab. It shows you things that are new to a variety of streaming services this month, as well as what's going to leave. Finally, in the Saves tab, you can organize the media you like into specific categories. So click that link in the description to download the app and create your own account today. You can even follow Low Art himself on there.
Me?
Yes, you silly. Now let's talk about some Naruto.
In Naruto's first chapter, we immediately learn about the basics of the world. There's this big, nine-tailed fox creature that attacked and killed loads of people, the Hokage is the most prestigious position in the village, and ninjas are these superpowered people that use hand signs and do loads of crazy stuff. Basically, it elegantly weaves in all this information about the Hidden Leaf Village without really stopping to dump exposition on our heads like we're a bunch of morons. And even more importantly, this chapter is equally adept at showing us the key components of its themes and characters. As you'd probably expect, this chunk of the story spends the bulk of its time focused on Naruto himself. At first, he seems like a brat who disrespects authority and history in equal measure, a kid who fails to comprehend the effect his actions have on others. However, it's quickly clear that there's a reason he's like this, as the chapter slows down to focus on his loneliness and solitude. See, not only is he the single individual who fails to graduate. No, most other adults bad talk him or ignore him, and the other kids don't want anything to do with him either. To pretty much everyone, he's at best a nuisance, and that isn't because of his so-called practical jokes. Instead, his acting out is in response to this treatment. But that doesn't stop him from longing for human connection. He wants to graduate with others and climb to the top of the system, becoming the Hokage. In this way, Naruto hasn't outright rejected the society. He still sees worth in their customs, even if he has a number of blind spots. Basically, Naruto longs for acceptance, but doesn't know how to get it. That is his central struggle, and it's going to remain a struggle for a long time. Eventually, though, we see that Naruto has some sort of latent power, even if he doesn't always understand how to tap into it. A power that's only going to grow in importance as the series continues. All this is to say that Naruto gives us a strong sense of who its titular character is, and it made me care a lot about his struggles in an incredibly brief period of time. In addition, the chapter places a lot of emphasis on Naruto's teacher Yurika. Unlike others, Yurika wants to understand Naruto, and cares about his well-being. But that doesn't mean that he always gives Naruto what he wants. In fact, when Naruto fails his final test, Yurika is the one who decides he absolutely cannot graduate. Later though, Yurika saves Naruto after Naruto steals the Scroll of Seals. He will put his life on the line for this child, and where others see a boy who houses a demon, he sees himself. A boy who lost his parents, who's alone, and who longs for companionship and love. It's through this dynamic between Naruto and Yurika that the chapter lays out so many of Naruto's themes. First, by failing Naruto in his class, Yurika is imparting a clear lesson to both him and the reader. There's no use taking the easy path. Titles mean nothing if you don't receive them honestly and properly. And when Naruto is manipulated by Mizuki, it's clear that taking power through improper means and shortcuts won't yield positive results. Finally, when Mizuki reveals that Nine Tails resides within Naruto and Yurika still accepts him, the most important theme of all rises to the surface. There's an immense power in recognizing a connection between yourself and the other, and viewing something with understanding instead of fear. After all, where Yurika could blame Naruto for his parents' death, he He instead sees a suffering similar to his own, a child who needs a parent as much as he did in the past, and so he will be that for him now. He will set Naruto on the right path by being there for him and caring for him. Here, the potential of even one person's love to change someone is beautifully and believably shown, and really, that's what so much of Naruto is all about. A whole lot of this comes down to how much others' views can define us. What I mean is that Yurika sees a child who needs someone, and so Naruto becomes that to him. However, others see a danger to their safety, or a curse that should be ignored. So that's what Naruto becomes to them. As such, the power of another's gaze has already been touched on in Naruto, but it will only be explored further in the following chapter. Here we meet the Hokage's grandson, Konohamaru. At face value, his experiences seem pretty different from Naruto's. He's inherited an exceptionally prestigious position in the village, and so he's treated kindly and carefully, even when he acts out or does bad stuff. But this treatment isn't all it's cracked up to be. Instead, it's stifling and frustrating. For Naruto, it'd be easy to see Konohamaru the same way, as just the Hokage's grandson and someone who, by virtue of their birth, has received widespread opportunities and love he might never see. Naruto would be kinda justified in viewing his struggles as comparatively trivial and even privileged. However, Yurika's attitude has had an impact, because instead of writing him off, Naruto chooses to find a point of connection between them. He treats him as an equal and ends up respecting him more than those who would give him special treatment. In turn, Konohamaru is able to see himself in Naruto and respect him. They've come to an understanding, and once again, the impact that even one person's respect can have on another is coming to the forefront. Of course, that's not the last of Yurika's lessons that Naruto holds with him, though. Instead, it's clear that Naruto has grown from his past failure, as he tells Konohamaru that there are no shortcuts to becoming Hokage. Where before he wanted to graduate even if he was undeserving, now he recognizes that it's the achievements that earn the title, not the other way around. Even though Konohamaru won't really play much of a pivotal part in the future, I'd say all this makes for a great chapter that expands on the themes and lessons of the story well and gives us an even better sense of who Naruto is. However, in the next chapters, we'll begin to introduce some key players: Sasuke, Kakashi, and Sakura. Each of them has a strong and clear personality that quickly comes through. Sasuke is this revenge-driven, self-serious youth. At first, he seems to look down on Naruto and he's particularly antagonistic. But it's clear that there's something more to him when he gets pissed at Sakura for how she talks about orphans. Perhaps there's a point of connection between these two that will take them from adversaries to rivals and maybe even friends. Kakashi, meanwhile, is a bit less clear about his exact motivations, but he serves well as the mentor who's going to show these kids the truth about the ninja world, that there's cruelty there and loss and sadness, that they need to be prepared for that. More importantly, though, his focus on teamwork as opposed to individual strength is going to be a central component of his worldview and backstory. He also has some ideas that run counter to what you might expect from a teacher in this village. As he says, in the ninja world, those who break the rules are called scum, but those who don't care about their comrades are worse than scum. While this line works splendidly to build upon the themes of teamwork that Naruto's first arc is going to explore, the fact that it takes on increased importance later only makes it better. And then there's Sakura. As far as we see now, Sakura is shallow and obsessed with Sasuke. Compared to the others, she doesn't have that much drive or determination. Her most positive traits are probably her aptitude for ninja skills and her book smarts, which we're told about quite extensively. To be fair, her shallowness is already being addressed as she resolves to be a bit nicer to Naruto. However, that lack of concrete motivation, to me, reads as a gap that will need to be filled, as a thing her character will need to learn. I mean, this Sasuke obsession can't remain that central to her character, can it? Of course she's gonna develop beyond that and not continue to hold on to it even when it ceases to make any sense and becomes incredibly frustrating. And holy crap, Sakura, get your forehead out of your... But yeah, teamwork. That's a key component of Naruto's lessons. Through these kids and their formation of Team 7, the story shows that even the most unlikely pairings can yield amazing results. In fact, maybe it's those differences that make them so powerful when they work together. Once again, these opening sections of Naruto are doing a great job of charting the story's course overall, of giving us a great idea of what Naruto is all about. And with that, we've gone through what I consider Naruto's introduction, and we're moving into the first arc, the Land of Waves. Here, the group accidentally gets involved in a fairly high-level mission, battling for the people in the Land of Waves as they attempt to fight back against Gato, an evil businessman who uses money and power to control the land. As such, they're tasked with protecting Tazuna, a builder whose bridge will grant this place new opportunities and avenues for success. Gato obviously stands in stark contrast to Naruto's themes, where Team 7 needs to lean on each other's strengths to succeed. Gato is a power-hungry tyrant who leads only for himself. This way, he serves well as the arc's antagonist. However, he has little in the way of personality or something interesting to really get me invested in him. But that's not a problem, because even if he's the arc's big bad, he's basically serving as the background villain and not the primary antagonist. No, that spot goes to Zabuza and Haku, who Gato has hired to keep the bridge from being built. Through Zabuza, we begin to learn more about the outside world, about the other ninja villages and their customs. As such, Naruto's future challenges are set out before us. See, in Zabuza's village, the young ninjas didn't form these nice teams and hold hands and sing songs. Nah, they needed to kill each other to graduate. So right away, we know that at least some villages don't place an emphasis on teamwork like the Hidden Leaf Village. In fact, it's quite the opposite, at least in the past. So a question naturally rises to the surface. Will Naruto and the gang be able to pierce this cruel world with their ideals of connection and understanding? Or will a world focused on individual power win out? Basically, Zabuza is working here as a way to show us something not just about his place as an antagonist, but the world's antagonism at large. And Zabuza stands as the ultimate form of that challenge, as he didn't just kill one ninja from the village hidden in the mist. No, he killed over 100 students. So he's all about individual strength, and Team 7 will only be able to defeat him by working together. However, at the same time, we have Haku, a powerful ninja who was raised by Zabuza after being orphaned. It's very easy for Naruto to find a point of connection between them. See, Haku's mom had a unique ability, a form of power feared in her village. So when Haku began to show signs of such power, he was told to hide it away. But regardless, his father later discovered his mom's secret, killed her, and then attempted to kill Haku too. In the end, Haku only survived by using his power to kill his father. From here, he came to the conclusion that his existence was of no value to anyone in this world. While this is even more tragic than Naruto's past, the similarities are undeniable. Due to his hidden power, Naruto has also been mistreated and feared by others, and that power was kept a secret. He similarly felt alone and worthless. But there is a key difference between them. Yurika, where Yurika showed Naruto a better path forward, a path where he chose his own way but with guidance and care. Zabuza used Haku as a tool. So yes, one person's positive actions can have an incredible impact on an individual, but so can negative actions. All in all, this interaction gets Naruto thinking. If the wrong person had found him at his lowest moments, couldn't he have become a whole lot like Haku? However, that's not to say that the arc treats Zabuza as a one-dimensional villain. After Haku dies, he cries and fights to the death. In a strange way, he too was a figure suffering because of a system outside of his control. Even if there was certainly a better path, even if he must shoulder the blame for his actions, he is a victim of a cruel ninja system that left him emotionally stunted and unable to form proper human connections. Haku's relationship to Naruto reaches beyond this, though. First off, there's Haku's belief that when a person has something precious they want to protect, that's when they can become truly strong. Of course, Haku's person is Zabuza, so this ideal isn't leading to positive results. But Naruto is able to take this ideal and apply it to himself and make it something better. He will choose the right people to protect, and he will find power in them. But earlier, there's another lesson he learned from him. Because when Naruto sees Haku, he's enraged. This kid has so much strength, so much power, he doesn't. At first, Naruto's anger might seem like a childish fit, but there's more to it than that. This is Naruto coming to understand how much of a gulf there is between him and his goal of becoming the Hokage. Since this comes after Naruto freezes up in a fight, well, it makes even more sense why Naruto would be frustrated with himself and act out. In fact, Naruto has a lot of development in this arc. Where before it seemed like he would just charge into a fight without a thought, now he's starting to come up with shockingly smart plans to save the day. Where it seemed like the previous Naruto treated learning like running into a brick wall over and over, now he's willing to ask Sakura for help when he's having trouble. Where the previous Naruto was so annoyed with Sasuke that he didn't want to look at him, now he uses this relationship as fuel to grow stronger. However, I think the strongest development for Naruto comes from his relationship with Inari, a child whose father figure was killed by Gato. Needless to say, this loss has traumatized the kid, and he no longer believes that heroes exist in this world. On top of that, he believes that the weak always lose and the strong get everything. Basically, he thinks the only way to live is to keep your head down and let whatever happens happen. There's no use fighting back for your freedom or trying to protect the things you hold dear. Of course, Naruto takes major issue with his defeatist mentality, and he makes it his mission to prove to Inari that he's got the wrong idea. Meanwhile, Kakashi is able to put into words the things Naruto can't when he describes Naruto's own frustrations and challenges to Inari. This all culminates in Inari standing up for his mother and running around to ask other villagers to help him stop Gato from destroying the bridge. So, through Inari, a small, physically weak child, the story shows us that even a strong person can be overthrown when like-minded individuals band together. In a way, Naruto has become Inari's Yurika. So Yurika built a bridge between himself and Naruto, and now Naruto builds a bridge between himself and Inari has built a bridge between himself and these other villagers, and that has also allowed this bridge to be built, which will lead to future opportunities and growth for the community at large. In this way, the bridge works as a powerful symbol, selling the importance of making these connections with others and holding on to them, no matter how hard that might be. As you can probably tell by now, I really enjoyed this first section of Naruto. I thought it was great, and I'm definitely looking forward to discussing the rest of this series in upcoming videos, continuing next time with the Chunin exams. As always, thank you to my wonderful patrons who make this channel possible and support me in doing these videos. And if you enjoyed this one, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel so you'll be notified about the next part in this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye-bye for now.